This is just for you. I'm not going to make it public. I just need to ask you some questions about Brandini. So we're redoing, downtown Palm Springs, and they're changing their brand or whatever. So I just wanted to go over with you about how the best way to install this and how to build it because I know for a fact when I see it at night, this does have light leaks the way we did it back in the day. Now, first and foremost, I just don't like to have light leaks because it looks bad. But when we first put this up, this company was just getting started, and I don't think they really cared that much. But now they're pretty picky because, I mean, they're a big company. So there might be somebody that's like going, hey, that looks like crap. So I'm saying we can't have light leaks. So the way we would do it or the way we did it is that you go up there and you put that backer up with blue screws and then you slide the faces over and you nail it down. Now, that would be great if you think you could caulk it after the fact. And I know you probably could, but I don't know because getting in here, trying to get in here, this is where the light leaks will come from because Fab has to chop the backer so badly in order to get the welds and everything on those seams because those seams are all built up from, there's stuff there because we have to weld all that together. So the backer is compromised right there. So trying to get in here to caulk this 3 inches deep, get your finger in there, I don't think that's going to work too well. So what I'm proposing is that we do this in one piece like a cartridge, like we've done before. So it's over 6, it's 5 feet, a little, 15 inches, whatever. It's not that big. So what we do is we build it with the backer and everything, but instead fabrication pushes the backer up enough to where we use 5/16 riv nuts out the back and we stud mount it. And then fabrication pushes it in enough to where it'll sit on the nuts and we counter tighten the nuts to the, to where it doesn't go anywhere. And then we can caulk it shut once the backer's on. So we can go ahead and send it to paint, all that we do, get it wired up, make sure it works. And then we put the screws in and then we seal it up and we can go all the way around and completely seal it up. And then we have some kind of a stud layout like this with the 5/16 that you guys can just go ahead and take it over there and then smash it in. And then maybe, silicone the studs in or maybe put some big blobs of silicone that kind of, glues it to the wall. Of course, the downside is if we ever need to get into it, there you go. There's no free lunch. This is serviceable. This would be more pain in the booty to service because once it's caulked up, sealed up, shut here, you're not going to be able to just pull the face off. So you'd have to pull it off the wall. So it's a balance of making sure that it's installed well, but make sure that it can come off at some point. Now, I don't remember ever having to go service this though. So knock on wood, I don't know if you guys have ever had to take this down and get in there and refresh it or something, but I think we'd be okay. Anyway, so I like this. If that works for you, some kind of layout of pattern of studs, that way it goes over as one unit. The other downside though, is that when you go to mash it in, you got to make sure that we don't push on the faces too much because they're just going to be siliconed in. And they'll put up with a little bit of pushing, but we don't want to push so hard. But there isn't much for you to push against because it's all plexiglass. So you'd have to make sure you kind of push against the edges to mash it in. So I don't know if it'll put up with the mashing. So if that's the case, maybe you have to oversize the holes a little bit. But then again, we don't want it to fall out. So I defer to your judgment on that to see what you think. If that works, okay. If you can make it work. But otherwise, I think that's the solution. Then there's the issue of these guys. So this is the word club from the surf club for the monument that's out front, those tiny little letters. So you can see how much smaller Toffee is. So I'm using this layout, but I'm already at, these are number 8 studs, by the way. So that's how small this stupid thing is. The other issue is that this goes right across the beam. So I don't know if you've done a survey, but these have to go through the beam, I guess. So good luck with that because there should be a nice big beam right here. So anyway, but hey, so hit me up with this. Let me know. Just give me a call. We can talk about it and see what you think, if this works for you, or if we want to try to just do this and maybe try caulking it or something. But anyway, hit me up.